You know what I miss? Going to Blockbuster or Hollywood Video and getting a movie based on the cover and the description alone. Why? Because I was so much more adventurous with my choices. Gone are the days where I gambled on a banger or a flop. Now I spend an entire hour looking for a movie or TV show to watch. I read reviews and I scroll through trailers just to feel so overwhelmed that I end up watching YouTube instead. Of course, this has its upsides because I don't waste money or time on bad movies or movies that I'm not really interested in the first place. Although I would still sit through a random Blockbuster find any day, even if Blockbuster was equally overwhelming as the streaming system. There were days that I would just grab whatever movie I thought was even slightly intriguing, and sometimes it ended up being a hidden gem. And even if it was bad, it was a lot of times so bad it's good. Anyway, all of this to say that I was inspired recently to make a list of movies that I feel like very few people know about or no one I've ever met knows about. The list is going to vary genre-wise, but I'll let you know a little bit about each movie without spoilers and where you can stream that movie. So if this content interests you, or if you're interested in some of my longer form content or my trailer reactions, subscribe. I'm going to start posting regularly, and I will let you know the schedule in a community post or in my next video, but I will start posting regularly. It is a goal of mine. So let's get started. The first movie I'm going to be talking about is called L.I.E, or Long Island Expressway. Long Island Expressway is a coming-of-age story about a couple of young boys. The movie stars a very young Paul Dano and Brian Cox. If you've seen the movie Kids or Mysterious Skin, then you can understand the plot to this movie because it exists in the same vein. The film is sexually explorative and indulges in childhood in a way that is very raw. It's an unflinching look at children trying to navigate the landscape of an unapologetic adult world, one that doesn't cater to their needs and sees their naivety as a weakness to exploit. The boys level themselves with the adult characters in the movie as if they are on equal playing field, but it's very clear that they are in over their heads. Even outside of the predatory people in their lives or the predatory adults in their lives, the kids still have to navigate childhood with other children, and the kids in the movie are very dynamic. There is a helpless but predatory feeling that Cox's character brings the film. He is both victim and perpetrator. So between hormones, changing feelings, and a deep sense of sadness over the loss of those in their lives, these characters are vulnerable and real in a way that can really only be compared to the two movies that I mentioned before. This one has themes that are tough to handle, but I think everything is portrayed thoughtfully. Nothing is glorified or oversimplified. It's like taking a glimpse into someone else's life for a little over an hour. Give it a try if you like coming of age movies for sure. And you can watch this one on Prime, Apple TV, and YouTube. The next movie I'm going to be talking about is called Running Scared. And I know some people have seen this one. It's not totally underground, but I feel like not enough people have seen it. It stars Paul Walker and Vera Farmiga in what is arguably Paul's best role in my opinion. But I'm not really a Fast and the Furious girly, so there's that. The premise is about a series of events that play out involving the mafia and a stolen weapon that was supposed to remain hidden. This causes Paul Walker's character to panic when his son's friend Oleg goes missing with said weapon. Paul Walker, his wife Vera, and Oleg go on the adventure of a lifetime and end up in some of the most insane situations I've ever seen. There are a series of captures and escapes throughout the movie, but the places that Oleg ends up, especially when he encounters an uncanny, bizarre couple who are incredibly evil and are terrifying, it's just, the scenarios are something just out of a movie. It's like the entire city is Gotham with drugs. The ending scene has incredible cinematography. Honestly, the entire movie is shot in a very interesting way with great cinematography. Obviously, I'm not super into action movies, so when I like an action movie, it has a lot going for it. It has to for me to like it. I would even go further and say that I will actively go out of my way to avoid watching movies about the mafia and the mob specifically. It just doesn't really interest me, but this movie was fantastic. It also doesn't end how most movies in the genre do. I think the ending will surprise a lot of people, and it's a great ride. Fantastic movie. Watch it. It's on Prime and Pluto TV. I think on Pluto TV, it's actually free. The next movie I'm going to talk about is The Believer. The Believer is fantastic. If you watch nothing else on this list, make this the one movie you check out. It's an insightful look at race and racism, faith, and a bridge between two very separate worlds. The entire movie is very reminiscent of American History X. It's about a self-hating Jewish man played by Ryan Gosling who joins a neo-N group. His intellectual prowess and devotion to the cause make him stand out among the other group members. Ryan Gosling oscillates back and forth between hatred and fear, but you can tell they're one and the same in most cases. Daniel, who is Ryan Gosling's character, lands himself in hot water and is forced to come face to face with who he is when he is required to do sensitivity training focused toward the Holocaust. The hollow world that Gosling lives in feels like a liminal space of feelings. He is neither here nor there fully. Even if he wants to give himself over to the group that he's joined and become fully immersed in their hate toward the Jewish community and obviously other races, he is continuously drawn back into the only thing he knows, the only world he's ever known since he was a child. I could see the entire movie as more of a metaphor for going against everything, as an extreme act of rebellion to find yourself, only to feel more lost and confused than ever by the end of it all. But there are some poignant moments that stand out. The classification of racism based on the idea of races being color coded being the biggest one for me. So there's a scene where he's sitting with another person and that other person is talking about their racism, how this group thinks. And when Ryan Gosling sets it all out for him, it's eye-opening. It's bleak, the ending is dreadful, and it's a great watch, so watch it. It's on Prime and Fandango. So I have another Ryan Gosling movie for you. This movie is called Stay. And it is like a puzzle, but we're missing a couple of the pieces throughout the film. And by the end, they all sort of come together. We follow Henry Latham, a young man who is seeking help from a therapist, Ewan McGregor's character. Ewan McGregor is worried about Henry because he gets the vibe that he might take himself out of this world. Henry even has a set date, so it's actually a bit more than a vibe. But throughout the movie, sequences of events just happen here and there. They're disjointed and make no sense in the grand scheme of things. For instance, Henry seems to think random people who he's never met are people he knows intimately. Like one of the characters he thinks is his father, and he seems very sure of this. And he's paranoid and he's upset. And Ewan McGregor is trying to figure out why. He's trying to figure out the story of Henry. Sam, Ewan's character, seems to be suffering from the strange delusions that Henry is on top of that. This seems to be some sort of shared delusion for the two, or at least it would seem on the surface that way. Episodes repeat themselves, people aren't who they say they are, things are not what they seem to be. Meanwhile, the entire movie is like this lucid dream, as if everything is just a sequence of events and nothing more than an illusion. By the end of the movie, everything is put nicely into place and it all sort of makes sense. People may actually know about this movie, I'm not really sure, but I know it's a lot less popular than some of Ryan Gosling's other movies, so if you're interested in this one is playing on Hulu for free, or obviously you have to subscribe to Hulu. The next movie I'm going to talk about is Mr. Nobody, and Mr. Nobody stars Jared Leto and is about an old man recalling moments of his life, the choices that he made, the choices that he didn't make, and what he wishes he would have done with his life. The entire movie is set in a distant future where humans are no longer slaves to their mortality. Instead, they are able to live forever unless physically wounded in some way. Their lifespans are the only thing keeping them alive. Anyway, these people ask the last mortal on Earth, Jared Leto, what it was like to have intercourse and live life to the fullest before the entire human race decided those things were not necessary and became immortal. The man goes through a series of loves and losses, but he backtracks as if his memories are not his, but figments of his own imagination instead. This is the most disjointed movie I have ever seen, but I still love it. Moment to moment, you have no idea which life Jared Leto is leading, and anything at all can happen within that lifespan. You can tell he is deeply regretful and eternally confused about the moves he is making. Like writing a book you're trying to figure out an ending for, and nothing seems quite right. And the story keeps changing based on that ending, or the story is being fleshed out to fit a certain ending that that person wants. Anyway, this is a much later film than the rest of the ones on this list. Honestly, a lot of them are very bleak. It's a fun movie. It's airy. The stories, even though they are disjointed, are pretty easy to follow because all of the characters are so different depending on which life the old man is talking about. And I think you'll have a great time watching this. This one is on Prime and Apple TV, and you have to pay for both. I don't know if it's on Apple TV for free. I can't remember. The last film I'm going to talk about is Mungo. This is one of my favorite horror movies in the mockumentary / found footage genre. And it's, I think, a favorite amongst a lot of horror fans. It doesn't have a big Hollywood cast or anything, but the acting is very good. The movie is about a family who has just recently lost their daughter, and they feel her presence in the house as if she's still around. Maybe she has unfinished business that she needs to attend to, or maybe she's just trying to send a message to the family. But either way, Alice's death has hurt the family so much that they cannot let go of her without knowing what happened to her, because her death was so sudden, even going as far as to deny that her death even occurred in the first place. We wind down the rabbit hole of footage that Alice's brother caught in their home on tape, and it reveals strange images that seem to be Alice in the home and secrets about Alice, things the family may or may not have wanted to know about their daughter. They also enlist the help of a psychic, and things continue to get creepier from that point on. There is a moment in the film that reveals how Alice may have predicted her own demise, and it is equal parts creepy, sad, and overall, it just has a feeling of existential dread the entire time. I actually made a video on this one a long time ago when I first started this channel, so check that out if you have time. It is very short, but I think someday I will make a longer video for that one because it's a good one. Anyway, so that is my list of 6 films that I think are worth watching that you may or may not have heard of. If you liked this list and if you like this video, please like the video. I will do, more than likely, I will do a video on every single thing that I mentioned here, a longer one for Mungo, but the rest of them I'm probably going to do a full-fledged video on. I actually tried to do a video for Mr. Nobody, but I hated the script that I wrote. I feel like it was hard because that movie is such a disjointed mess that I felt like my script was very disjointed. So I have to figure out how I'm going to place everything. I mean, literally 1 second you're in one place and then the next you're in a completely different place. Like second to second, it was changing. So I recorded it and then I scratched the entire thing, which was a bummer. But I will make another one someday. Plus, I do feel like I need to talk about more mainstream movies right now because I'm still trying to grow my channel, and doing random niche movies isn't very helpful because people aren't really looking for those. That's why I made this list, because I'm hoping that this can put things on people's radar that they might not have seen, and maybe they'll want to know more about it, or somebody popular will pick it up and they'll start talking about it too. But I'm just lost in the algorithm right now, so I'm just trying to find my way out. Anyway, if you like the video, like the video. If you liked my content, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.